Well, I bought a new adventure bike. And for those that have watched my videos, you'll know that I've enjoyed riding a BMW R1250 GS. Well, in this video, I'll explain why I've changed bikes and I'll give you my first thoughts about the new Husky701. I guess the first question is, why buy a new bike? And the answer is, I found myself doing more and more dirt riding. Even on my 6 and 7 day long adventure rides, 90% of that was on dirt. And while I love the GS, especially on the road, on dirt, it's just heavy. It's a big, heavy bike. And I wasn't just riding flat fire trails. I found myself doing more and more technical riding. And weight was becoming more of an issue for me. So why the Husky701? Well, I was looking for a lighter bike, and I was thinking about the T7 and some of the smaller twin cylinder bikes. But when I looked at the weight of them, I decided that I wanted something that was dramatically lighter. And really the Husky ticks that box. It's about 100 kilos lighter than my GS. What really sealed the deal for me was this review of the 701 LR that was done by Dirt Bike TV. And when I found out that Dave actually bought one for himself personally, then I was convinced. So what's it like jumping on a 701 coming from a GS? Well, the first thing I'd say is that when you go onto almost any bike from a GS, the GS is such a refined bike in terms of engineering that it's going to feel almost agricultural at first. And it felt weird getting on the 701 when I first started riding it. It probably took me about 3 or 4 hours to get comfortable with it. But then I just couldn't hide the smile. I honestly can say that it just started to become more fun on the dirt. When I saw deep sand, instead of sort of puckering up and just, wrestling this big beast, I accelerate the throttle and just enjoy, the bike flying through the sand. Going off jumps and being able to jump this bike without it feeling like a minivan landing, and sliding the back out, all of the fun stuff that I really haven't been able to do with confidence on the GS. Now all of a sudden this new world opened up to me on the 701, and I can honestly say I've only ridden it twice so far, but I've probably enjoyed those 2 rides on dirt more than any ride I've done on the GS. I'm planning to actually transform this bike into an adventure bike, so I'm putting in a mini fairing and a bunch of other stuff onto the bike to make it capable for multi-day adventures, and that will be the real test. Can I ride the bike comfortably for long periods of time? And my initial feeling is that's going to be a yes. So stay tuned and I'll let you know. Okay, to finish off, I know some of you are interested in the autonomous drone that I use. I thought I'd show you a couple of interesting little scenes that happened while we were shooting this video. So here you can see the drone got caught inside a whole bunch of trees. But if you watch, you can just see the way the drone works its way out through the trees and then gets back out to the trail and follows me again. Quite amazing when you see how deep into the trees it was. Now this next shot, the drone's following me quite nicely. And I come into a sort of heavily wooded area, and you see the drone slows down because of these branches hanging out. And I start to get further away from the drone. So once the drone gets away from the tree, it pops up high over these trees to catch up to me. And as you can see, here is the arch enemy of the drone, the power lines. Now, I didn't notice this when I was riding, but the Skydio clearly sees the power lines and it actually dives down in between the power lines to get back on station. It really is quite an amazing drone.